Hey everyone, I'm Kathy Kelly and welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. Now this is a daily show where we break down all of the latest movie news and give you insight into what it all means. Joining me today is senior editor of AMC Movie News, John Campia. Hey John.
Hello everybody! And hello Kathy. It's a wonderful, marvelous day. The Lakers are 8 games under 500, which is delicious on my lips like this sweet honey tea.
And also here today is associate editor of AMC Movie News, Amy Rose Eisenbach.
Hey, Kathy. John, do not get me started, all right?
Let me throw this in.
The Lakers are still wonderful.
I heard...
They still need time to get their chemistry. They have the wrong coach. It's not their fault.
I heard the best quote on SportsCenter last night. They came out of commercial, and there's the sports anchor guy. He just goes, the Los Angeles Lakers, they're not very good at basketball. It's like, anyway, yeah, let's proceed.
Viva los Lakers.
Movie news. So getting into some movie news, as most of you know, in summer of 2015, a huge battle is brewing for box office supremacy as both Avengers 2 and Justice League will be released. At this point, not much is known about the Justice League project other than that it's being scripted by Will Beall, who also wrote Gangster Squad, which of course is in AMC theaters now. However, reports are coming out from the movie news site Latino Review that Justice League will focus on just 5 core members. According to the report, the 5 members of Justice League will be Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and The Flash. Noticeable by their absence are characters like Aquaman, Hawkman, Martian Manhunter, and Green Arrow, and others. So, John, if the story is accurate, do you think that this is the right lineup for Justice League, for the Justice League movie?
Yeah, actually, if this is true, and let's preface this is a rumor being reported by a, granted, reputable website, but just one site right now, that are usually pretty good with their scoops. Let's assume it's real, that Justice League is going to focus on these 5 guys. The challenge you face with the Justice League that Avengers did not face is the fact that Avengers had all these individual movies to give the backstory, to give the origin stories on all these characters, so that when they came into Avengers, you already knew all this stuff. You knew all that background that was laid down, they could just move forward. Justice League is going to face a little bit of a bigger challenge because they're going to have Superman, assumingly that this Superman film, Man of Steel, is going to do well, which it will, I'm sure it will. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to assume we're going to see Henry Cavill as Superman. But that's going to be the only character. It's going to be a brand new Batman. It's going to be a Wonder Woman we've never seen on the big screen before. It's going to be, I don't know if they're going to go with Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern or they're going to reboot that character and have a totally new Green Lantern. We don't know. We've never had the Flash on the big screen before. So you face this huge challenge of giving backstory and meaning to who all these characters are and have them have a big team adventure movie and introduce a villain. You can't. I mean, I don't even know how they're going to do it with 5, but you can't have 7. You can't have 8. You can't have 12 characters. It's just impossible. So if you're going to go with 5, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, and Batman, these are the 5. Mm-hmm. These are the 5 you go with, and yeah, I'm kind of sad not to see Hawkman in there or Martian Manhunter, but I'm sure maybe we'll see cameos or something like that. But I think this is the 5, and this is the way you've got to go.
Amy Rose?
I'd have to agree. I think it's a really good place to start. One thing that, Joss Whedon did so masterfully was give, each of our superheroes enough screen time. And that's really hard to do without the backstory of, we had the Thor films, we had the Captain Americas and Iron Man and all that good stuff. So I think this is a great place to start. If Warner Brothers is smart, we want to know that they have a plan for the DC universe. We want to know. We're all big fans of it, and Man of Steel I think is going to reveal a lot. Hopefully they allude to the larger scale of the universe and we get little other characters and references in that, hopefully. But I do think this is a really good place to start. They should start small and prove that they know what they're doing first.
Yeah. So speaking of Superman, the Man of Steel movie opens in AMC theaters everywhere on June 14th. We already know what the famous editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet, Perry White, a traditionally white character, is going to be played by Morpheus himself, Lawrence Fishburne, and it now appears that the traditional character-type tinkering doesn't stop there, as actress Rebecca Buller will be playing the role of Jenny Olsen, a female version of the traditional Jimmy Olsen character. So, Amy Rose, what's your reaction to these changes?
I'm good with Morpheus. I think that Lawrence Fishburne is fantastic. I'm cool if you play with like the race of a character. Like, let's mix it up. It's fine. But I'm not okay with changing a gender. I think that's an iconic character, and I don't think you should tamper with it that much. You know, if we don't have a lot of female characters, whatever. We still have Lois Lane. We still have a lot of great characters, but I'm not okay completely changing the identity of a character.
Amy Rose, you ignorant fool. Look, absolutely, I think Morpheus is great. I think Fishburne is going to be a great Perry White. But I also think having Jenny Olsen as opposed to Jimmy Olsen is totally fine.
I don't.
And here's why.
Nope.
I've made this argument before, and I will correctly make it again. Here's the thing. I don't care about race or gender or hair color or eye color or body type or whatever of characters if they are not core essential elements to who that character is. The Perry White character, there are many things about that character. He's kind of gruff, he's a seasoned newsman, but he's got integrity and blah, blah, blah. Those are the core essential elements of who Perry White is. Whether he's black or white is irrelevant
that doesn't matter
to
to
the
me
character. And I'm going to say this too. Jimmy Olsen, him being male, is not a core essential element to who that character is. Look, if he had an iconic love story in Superman, let's say that synonymous with Superman is Jimmy Olsen and his sweetheart Mitzi. Let's say that's a core thing, that's a really big thing in the comic universe. Well, then Jimmy Olsen being a guy kind of becomes an issue to who he is because he has this romantic thing going on with Mitzi, who I'm just making up. But there's none of those issues with Jimmy Olsen.
Great made-up name, Mitzi.
There is no core essential thing to Jimmy Olsen that says this has got to be a male character for him to fulfill his core essential elements.
But
so
what strength do we get by changing it? That's what I don't like. Same thing with like films going dark just for the sake of shock value. I don't like that. I think that if we know the story, that it should be told that way. I'm very protective of my comic book folklore, and I don't think mix up the race, that's fine. Like, give everyone a shot. Lawrence is going to do a great job, I think. But changing a character completely just to be a female version of that, just drop the character altogether. Don't just change it.
But I think you're making an assumption that the filmmakers don't have a purpose. I think it's dangerous for us to assume that it's just as dangerous to assume that they do have a purpose.
Exactly.
But I think, let's face it, sometimes in the comic books, Jimmy Olsen's a significant character. Maybe. Never on the big screen has he been a significant character or important in any way.
Then why change it to a chick?
So if you're going to change anybody, take one of these throwaway characters like a Jimmy. Now, granted,
don't change anybody.
To the comic book purists, I am not saying he hasn't been important in certain stories in the comic book. He has. But let's be honest. Let's just call it let's face reality. In the movie world, he has never been anything but a throwaway character. So if you're going to have changes like this, might as well do it with a character like that than say Lexi Luthor. That would be more of a significant change.
I wouldn't watch
it. So if you're going to do it, go for it.
It might work, but I still don't think they should have done it.
All right.
We'll see. I'll keep an open mind.
Well, sticking with the comic book theme, the sequel to X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Future Past, opens in AMC theaters in 2014 and adds Patrick Stewart, Hugh Jackman, and Ian McKellen as to the existing cast of James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, and Jennifer Lawrence, and they'll spend a lot of time focusing on the older and younger versions of Professor X and Magneto. However, it appears one first-class cast member is not returning. Actress January Jones, who plays Emma Frost in the first film, recently revealed in an interview that she has not been approached to be in the next movie, which means we can assume fairly confidently that Frost will not be in the film. John, is this a problem for you if January Jones isn't in the new X-Men movie?
No problem whatsoever. I mean, I am a traditionalist like a lot of people that when you do a sequel, I like to see the characters from the previous film as long as they weren't killed off. But even that's not really a roadblock anymore. I like to see them carried over into the sequel. But let's face it, the Emma Frost character was not important. And with all apologies to representatives and friends and fans of January Jones, she was terrible in that film. I'm not saying she's terrible, but that was not her particular best effort or best fit for casting. So, and let's face it too, for those of you who know anything about the Days of Future Past storyline, this is a convoluted, complicated, and intricate storyline where there's a lot going on. So the fact that you take out a couple of these more minor characters, and let's say Emma Frost was a minor character in it, and the fact that it wasn't exactly January Jones's best performance that she's capable of, I'm totally fine with her not being there.
Would you have preferred them to change it to like Ethan Frost?
Yes.
Would that have gotten
That would have been better.
I'm neutral. I mean, I've expressed many times that I'm a diehard X-Men fan. I don't think that she's pivotal to the story. I mean, it's a very complicated story. You know, we're going to be going in the past and the future, and just like it's not necessary. She's pretty. She was great, you know, as eye candy in the film.
Oh, she's more than pretty.
Yeah, she's hot.
She's stunning.
Yeah, she's
stunning.
hot. She's smoking. But I agree. I don't really think that it's essential to the story. So I'm just kind of neutral. I don't really care if she's in it or not.
All right, well, listen, now we come to the part of the show for a new segment that we've got called Buy or Sell, that I'm blatantly ripping off from ESPN and Around the Horn, granted. And here's how Buy or Sell works. Kathy's going to list off a couple of really quick movie news stories, and then Amy Rose and myself will say whether we buy or sell the story on its own merits. So, Kathy, what do we got?
Well, let's kick things off with this. The aforementioned Superman movie, Man of Steel, has just been given a rating by the MPAA and will officially be PG-13 for intense sequences of sci-fi violence, action and destruction, and for some language. Amy Rose, buying or selling a PG-13 Man of Steel?
Buy. I don't think Man of Steel needs to be R. I think we're going to get everything we need out of it with a PG-13 rating, and obviously they want to keep it to a wider audience, so I think that works.
I'm also going to buy this for the same reasons that Amy Rose said. Superman is not a dark character who's going to be ripping people's heads off. But like I said about Transformers, you can get away in Transformers with robots cutting each other's heads off and stabbing each other through the gut and getting PG because it's fantasy. It's not being done to people. I think you're going to see a Superman tearing up a lot of alien crap and stuff like that. So I'm totally good with the PG-13 Superman.
Yummy alien crap.
Yes.
Both buying. I love this next story. WWE Films is producing a reboot of the Leprechaun franchise, with the first film being titled Leprechaun Origins, and will reportedly feature WWE star Hornswoggle. John, buy or sell a Leprechaun reboot?
I can't believe I'm going to say that. I buy this. Now, it's hard for me to possibly imagine that that you're going to have anybody other than Willow play the Leprechaun. But listen, you got to reboot this franchise. It's a good story. You can't go any further with it after you do Leprechaun in the Hood. There's nowhere left to go. Time to reboot, and you got to recast when you reboot. So I'm buying it.
I sold it 10 minutes ago. I think that is it just does not need to happen. I mean, if someone's going to do it, sure, give it to Hornswoggle, you know, but like, I just think it's absolutely ridiculous and it does not need to be done.
Okay. Well, the next topic, actress Dakota Fanning will play the late, great actor Errol Flynn's teenage girlfriend, Beverly Adland, in the biopic The Last of Robin Hood, starring Kevin Kline as the swashbuckling screen legend Flynn. The film also stars Susan Sarandon as Florence Adland, who accuses Flynn of having a sexual relationship with her daughter Beverly when she was only 15 years old. Beverly later confirmed that the allegation was true. She was by Flynn's side when he died at the age of 50 in 1959. So, Amy Rose, buying or selling Fanning and Kline in these roles?
I'll buy it. I mean, they're both fantastic actors. I really like, you know, Kevin Kline is fantastic. He's done a bunch of great things. He's a thespian, a true thespian. And I mean, Dakota Fanning she's great. She's very diverse, and you know, it's a dark subject matter for them to kind of explore that, adultery. But I do think it sounds interesting. I do like the Last of Robin Hood mythology.
I'm going to buy this.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy this. Dakota Fanning, a lot of people got on her case because she was so popular, but as a kid actress, she's maybe one of the best child actresses of all time. Kevin Kline, oh no, Ken is coming to kill me. One of the greatest lines ever. Fish Called Wanda, Dave. Everything else Kevin Kline has done, he's awesome.
He's awesome.
It is kind of creepy thinking about a 50-year-old dude dating a 15-year-old. I had people look at me kind of weird when I was 35 and dating a 21-year-old. All my friends are high-fiving me, of course, but you know, like my mom was like, what do you do? But wow, 15 and 50 is kind of got a little bit of a Great Balls of Fire feel to it. But yeah, performance-wise, boom,
it's gonna be good.
Buying it.
They did that back in the medieval days.
Yes, they did.
They sure did.
Last topic for the day, the new biopic of...
We called those the good old days, by the way. But anyway, go ahead.
The new biopic of Apple founder Steve Jobs, simply titled Jobs, stars Ashton Kutcher and will officially be released by Open Road Films on April 19th. John, buying or selling Jobs?
Very hesitantly, I'm going to buy this. Now, there's another Steve Jobs film being developed by Aaron Sorkin, which obviously seems a lot better. And Sorkin said that movie's only going to have 3 scenes. A movie of only 3 scenes, written by Aaron Sorkin. Yeah. But this is still Steve Jobs, one of the most iconic people in our history, particularly modern history, and the way he's changed our culture and society. I'm not a big fan of Ashton Kutcher as an actor, never have been, but he looks bang on, so let's see. I'm going to buy it.
Okay. Yeah, hesitantly buy. I was a bit skeptical on it as well, and then I saw the pictures of literally Steve Jobs up against the same like exact setting of Ashton Kutcher, and he looks amazing. And you know, and he has done films. I mean, he's always kind of the actor we joke about, like, oh, they'll hire Ashton Kutcher. You know, he's just kind of the filler. But you know, The Butterfly Effect, for example, he took a dramatic role. I actually really liked that movie. I thought it was really interesting. So you know, maybe he'll show it. I thought it was interesting. So maybe it'll be interesting.
Assist on your ankle is interesting.
Steve, ew, whoa, weird. But Steve Jobs, I mean, he was known as not maybe the nicest guy, and so maybe seeing that side of Ashton will be interesting. So hesitantly buy it, but I will buy it. And I think, I mean, what he's done for tech and Apple and everything is phenomenal. And I mean, I did read his biography, and so I'm just fascinated by his story and backstory, so let's see. But Aaron Sorkin, I mean, he's obviously the better of the two. I'll watch anything he writes, so.
All right, well, that will do it for us. We are out of time. But listen, while I got you, before you do anything else, take a second and click that subscribe button. Subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It'll keep you up to date, free, by the way, on everything going on in the world of movie news, our editorials, and of course, our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, listen, if you want an audio-only version of this podcast to listen to in your car or whatever, go on over to iTunes and just search for AMC Movie Talk. You'll find a video and audio, or find us on Stitcher. You'll find links to them in the show notes below. While I've also got you, make sure you follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AMC Theaters. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/AMC Theaters. And once again, click that subscribe button. I want to thank our associate editor, Miss Amy Rose Eisenbach.
Thank you. Go Lakers!
The delusional Amy Rose Eisenbach. I also want to thank our host today, Miss Kathy Kelly. Kathy, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
And thank you guys for joining us. And listen, the most important part of this show is what you think, not what we think. So jump into the comments section and comment on any of these stories. Let us know what you think. I'll be in there and I'll respond to you.
I'll be in there too. We love debate. We love the conversation. So let us see what you got.
So until next time, being tomorrow, my name's John Campia. Bye-bye.